This film is like the old joke. A man walks into a bar. His alcohol dependency is slowly ruining his and his family's lives.
And the waves roll into the shore in time with my beating heart.
If I told you that you were about to watch 2 hours of Saoirse Ronan just vibing around listening to birds in the ocean, you'd still watch it, right? Because that's all it is, but it's great. And Saoirse Ronan is just that good. The Outrun is one of those films that doesn't really seem like it's got a lot going on from the outside, and when you watch it you find out it doesn't have a lot going on there either. But it doesn't need it, because it's trying to make the point that when you try to get clean, when you try to stop doing drugs or alcohol, you know, it works for either, your life slows down. And it feels like you have to stop partying. You can't keep partying without the drinking. You just have to slowly back away from everything you knew. And it feels like your life's becoming a lot more boring. It's getting a lot slower. And what's really happening is that you're just breaking yourself down so that you're back to the basic building blocks and you can build up the foundations of a brand new person that doesn't need that in their life. And that's what we watch her do. So the first half of the film is very jumpy, it's not told in chronological order, and it has some random interludes where you learn a lot about seals and birds. Yeah, hear me out though, it's all because, or I took it to mean that it's all because she can't focus her mind when she really feels like she still needs the alcohol. And it's not a pretty version of alcoholism that it's showing. It's not trying to paint her in one light. It's not trying to say, oh, she's a really good person who just had some struggles with alcohol, or she's a horrible monster. It kind of shows both halves, and it lets you make up your mind yourself. And I really like that about it, because most films about alcoholism or featuring an alcoholic, they try to paint it one way or the other. This is based on a memoir by someone who had these kind of experiences, and you know, it feels very much more like a real story. And like, we're not shying away from anything about how this looks and what it's like to be this person or to be around them. I love Saoirse Ronan in just unashamed sort of way. She elevates every film I've ever seen her in, I think, and she is fantastic in this one. And she really holds it on her shoulders. Basically, she comes back home to the Orkney Islands after doing a 90-day rehab course, and she tries to get stuff going, but it's a slippery slope, and I like that about this. It doesn't jump back and forth between when she was there in London, when she was an alcoholic, and when she's back home and therefore is recovered and fine. It's not like that, and it shouldn't be like that, because it's not. It doesn't... There's a line in this that I really like about, oh no, it does get easier, I promise you that, but it never gets easy. And that's kind of what it does such a good job of showing, this film. Also, it does a really good job of showing you're probably more likely to be an alcoholic if you live in England than Scotland. It's just depressing down there. The film doesn't try to fix all her problems. It doesn't try to give her this incredible, amazing, fixed life at the end. That's not what we need. It is one of the feel-good films of the year. The thing about those kind of films is, including this one, they normally have to beat you down a bit before they can lift you up. And I think it's great. I think it does a great job of that. It's going to be tough to watch for anyone who's been through this kind of situation or knows someone that's been through this kind of situation, but it should be. I've seen a few great, quiet films in the last month or two, and I'm wondering, are we just on a really good run of releases for that kind of quiet, slower film? Or am I getting old and just appreciating them more? I can't tell. But Saoirse Ronan honestly deserves an Oscar nomination because she held this up on her shoulders, and it is one of the better films I've seen this year. It is really great. She is fantastic, the setting is great. It's probably the only time we're ever going to see the Orkney Islands in a cinema, but it's fine. And I love the fact that she does find this sort of new purpose in life in shit like seaweed. It's just really simple. She becomes, over time, over the course of the film, like a teen rom-com quirky lead girl. That's the vibe, except she really is just happy being alone, and I love that for her. She is a vibe. She is great fun in this weird quirky way, but not quirky as in typical Hollywood quirky, just like, what a random happy freak. I honestly think by the end of the year I'm going to call this maybe one of my top 10 of the year. It is... I didn't expect this at all. It exceeded my expectations. It is really great. I could be a little biased, because I watched this right after Megalopolis in cinema, so anything was going to seem amazing. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm giving Saoirse running away from her problems 4.5 stars. The stark reality of having to separate yourself and isolate yourself entirely from the good and the bad in order to heal. The Rona. Her name is Rona. And she isolates herself. Self-isolates. The Ocean Master. That's a good name. Yeah.